Hey Lancers, coming at you live from Memorial Union High School. We are at the senior cap and gown event. You can't tell because you can't see any of my face, but I am very excited to be here. And let's go see who else we can find. Scoping it out. Mr. Levine, what is your favorite thing about quarantine?
Walking my dog for 2 hours every day.
Oh my God. And Mr. Labrie?
No alarm clocks.
Yes.
Graduation! Woo, yeah!
What is your least favorite thing about quarantine?
Not seeing my students.
Oh. Mr. Potvin, what is your least favorite thing about quarantine?
Oh, I don't know. Are you filming this? I don't like this.
Yes.
Stop. Not joking and seeing my students.
Woo! It's a little slow going. I've got a bit of an anchor here. It's a news pun for all you news fans out there. Anchor, get it? We're also not moving anywhere. What is your favorite thing about quarantine?
Unfortunately, I cannot think of one thing that I like about quarantine. I would wish we were back to school and everything was like it was in the past. Senior class, it has been great seeing you guys as you come for your caps and gowns. I wish it was something much more different, but know that I'm thinking of you, I miss you, and I love you. Go class of 2020.
What?
Tell me your joke.
What do you call the person? Wait, this joke?
Yeah.
What do you call the person who graduates last in their class of med school?
I don't know, what?
Doctor.
Trying to eat your homework.
Hey, we're here giving out caps and gowns. Congratulations to the class of 2020.
Mooney, what's your favorite thing about quarantine?
You know what? I can hang out at home all the time. I don't miss people.
What's your least favorite thing about quarantine?
Least favorite thing is having to wear gloves in this thing and not being able to hug people.
Cooney, do you have a special shout out for the class of 2020?
Well done, kids. We're going to do whatever we can for graduation. I'm hoping it's all going to be amazing. I miss you all. I'm sorry we couldn't be with you, physically here.
Lori Lisai, what is your favorite thing about quarantine?
My favorite thing about quarantine is sleeping in past 5:30 and coming to meeting in my sweatpants and running stuff. My least favorite thing about quarantine is trying to homeschool my own children while doing my job.
Madeline, what are you doing?
Look at that truck. And then the real seniors.
Right? Yeah. Right. She's going to do it.
She's gonna do it. Mr. Allen,
What?
what is your least favorite thing about quarantine?
Least favorite thing about quarantine is I feel like I'm like a puppy dog. I always need like human interaction, and I think my wife is sick of me at this point.
What's your favorite thing about quarantine?
Favorite part? Spend more time with my dog. I don't get to spend enough time with that dog. But those are my two.
I'm sure she loves having you home.
You got a
Kelly
meeting?
What's your favorite thing about quarantine?
Sleeping in and being ready to be on the computer within 15 minutes.
What's your least favorite thing about quarantine?
Not seeing everybody and laughing and having excuses to fool around and get caught up with students and staff.
Do you have a message for the class of 2020?
You are going to have a story to tell 2020. You are so resilient, and here's to healthy and happiness and wonderful things ahead for you.
Mr. T, what is your favorite thing about quarantine?
My favorite thing about quarantine? You have to give a PG-13 answer for this.
What's your least favorite thing about quarantine?
Again, let me think. Least favorite thing about quarantine. I really miss baseball. I cry every night thinking about it. I miss sports.
Miss Frankfurter,
I don't recognize.
Kathy Frankfurter, what is your favorite thing about quarantine?
Lancer Action News on Friday mornings.
Great answer. Kathy, what is your least favorite thing about quarantine?
missing the kids, not seeing the kids, not talking to them,
Oh.
not saying, no, do this now.
Oh, wait. I also miss my students a lot. I miss them a lot.
Mr. Robinson, what is your favorite thing about quarantine?
Spending time with the family and all the extra things that we're able to do outside of the regular school day.
You guys are rock stars. Good morning, Lancers, and welcome back to this action-packed episode of Lancer Action News. I'm so happy you're here. I'm so happy it's Friday, and we only have a couple weeks of school left. Let's get it. First up, we have the wonderful Patrick J. LeClaire with Pat's Plants. Take it away, Pat.
Thanks, Nick. We're back here for another issue of Pat's Plants with me, Pat, and today I'm going to show you how to grow some plants of your very own. That's right, we're joining the rosemary plant out here in the garden where things are already underway. Here we've got some peas. Here are some little radishes. Future lettuce. Not quite there yet, but it's growing. And little tiny carrots. We've also got some nice starts here with Brussels sprouts, kale, cabbages, some squash. But today we're going to grow something that everyone can grow at home, just with what they have in their own kitchen. Beans. That's right, Pat. All you're going to need is some dried beans from your kitchen, anything that you would normally use to cook with, and a patch of earth. The first thing you want to do is to have your beans laid out in a nice little bed for them. Next, we're going to cover them up just by bringing over some soil. Pat it down. Now we're going to give them some water, and then we're just going to wait. If it's warm and sunny and you give them a little bit of water every day, they should be coming up in 5 or 6 days. Give gardening a try. It's a great way to spend your summer. Back to you, Nick.
Next up, we have Miss Toll with your weekly book recommendation. Take it away, Miss Toll.
Why, thank you, Nick. Today we are going to discuss creepy books that you can access in Destiny Discover, because I know you all like creepy books. Not all of you, but a lot of you do. So today I'm going to point out some creepy books that I think you'll enjoy if you're looking for that kind of book. Coraline by Neil Gaiman, such a good choice. She stumbles into an alternate dimension and has to challenge a creepy, evil entity for her soul. We've got Sadie, which is really sad. Sadie's sister that she's raising is found dead, and Sadie just wants to bring her sister's killer to justice. Very intense, very well written. We've also got Splinter, Breakdown, and Lost, great mysteries. Ghosts and Legends of Lake Champlain, self-explanatory. Edgar Allan Poe, if you're just looking for a really creepy feeling and one that lasts. The Black Cat still creeps me out. So if you're looking for a good telltale heart story with a blue vulture eye, Poe is the way to go. We've also got I Hunt Killers. Son of a serial killer goes to help police track down new serial killers, and finds out that he might not be as far away from his dad as he thinks. And then Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. Creepy, fun, great. I hope you enjoy these books. Lots of books available in Destiny Discover. If you need help accessing them, let me know. Library Book Club happens every Friday at 2:30, and library office hours every day from 11 to 12 and 1 to 2. I hope to see you there. I miss you, Lancers, and I hope you have a not creepy day, because I don't want you to have a creepy day. Have a great day, Lancers.
Next up, we have This Week in Art from Miss Rubenstein. Take it away, Ruby.
After last week's episode, I figured I'd talk a little bit about why some art is famous and well known. Well, back in the day, you only had a couple of options of the types of art that you can make. So imagine only having about 3 choices of what you make. Either 1, Jesus, 2, some rich guy who's going to pay you a lot to make a painting of himself, or 3, fruit. During World War II, Hitler decided what was and what wasn't art. If you did not make art that he liked, you were considered deviant and therefore could be persecuted. Many artists felt their freedom of expression was more important than their lives, and therefore took a great risk in making the art they wanted, that they thought the world needed. After World War II, the art scene exploded and a lot of artists made things that kind of pushed boundaries even further. Jackson Pollock's famous pieces were in direct response to the war efforts and how twisted he thought humanity was. He desired to show that in his abstract pieces that most people just consider drip paintings, but there's a lot more going on to these if you take the second to look. That being said, some artists just wanted to see what they could get away with. Marcel Duchamp is famous for his fountain sculpture that is well known for being rejected from an art exhibit that accepted everyone just because he wanted to see what people said. More artists started to decide what is art and what is regular life, and decided to blur those lines. From Andy Warhol's famous tomato soup paintings to Mr. Allen's favorite new artist, Jeff Koons. So yes, Jeff Koons has some interesting artwork, but while we might not be the biggest fans, it's important to note that he's an influential artist because he did something that no one else did before. And if you thought inflatable balloon sculptures were the tip of the art world iceberg, well, I got another thing coming for you. This is Damien Hirst, who is famous for a multitude of pieces, including preserving dead animals in his artwork. Yeah, let that sink in for a second. In a recent exhibition, he encouraged his patrons to travel around the world collecting dot paintings. Yes, dot paintings. And yes, before you can say it, I know most of you are like, I could make this. I could make this easily. But you are not Damien Hirst. He is worth the most of any living artist right now, which is making me reconsider my life choices. All right. Just because you don't like art doesn't mean it's not art, doesn't mean it is. But the art world, that's what makes it special, is that there can be something for everyone. And as long as someone says it's art, even if that's you, then it's art and it's valid and you should make it. Just to end things off, remember, make art or the Nazis win.
And we have the long-awaited return of the No Sports Report with Mr. T. Take it away, T.
What's up, Nick? What's going on, man? What's up? No Sports Report. So, this is Mr. T with the No Sports Report for week whatever. Got a lot of great things to talk about this week. I can't get over my hair right now. I think that's better. This looks athletic, right? I look athletic. I don't know. I stopped caring what I looked like in April. That said, if you know anybody giving haircuts, hit me up. So first things first, I want to shout out Miss Toll. Thank you so much for filling in for me last week. I was busy filling in for Braggins on the joke. Cooney was busy pretending that my joke wasn't funny. Miss Toll is not a fan of sports, and she did an incredible job not talking about them. Infinitely better than I would have done talking about books, for example. Not that I don't like books, it's just that I don't know how to read. I am back this week. We've got plenty to talk about, and we got something going on with my camera here. It's like, something going on. Yeah, there we go, there's room. This is great. For 2 months? No, stop. I was shooting in portrait mode for 2 months. Somebody would have told me. Widescreen. So much more room for activities. That's kind of cut off the top of my head a little bit, which is also great. This is it's a really, really high budget production. Intern, refill. No, tell Fallon next week doesn't work for me. No, I'm booked through August. I don't like this camera angle, okay? Switch it up. This is not my good side. Who picked this lighting? How much am I paying you people? Oh, nothing? No money? What do you mean you're imaginary? Yeah, no, okay. All right, I am now being told that this show does not have a production team. I am currently alone in my apartment, hearing voices in my apartment. Well, everything's fine. Let's get back on track. There actually are sport things to talk about this week. So, I'm out of time. No more time. Note to self, don't spend the whole show yelling at your fake crew. Well, for your host, Mr. T, and everybody here at the No Sports Report, be well and stay safe, Lancers. Enjoy that sunshine. Back to you, Nick.
Thanks so much, Lancers, for tuning in this week. It's wonderful to see the weather change outside. Seniors, congratulations on making it this far. You are almost done. And everyone else, you guys have really risen to the occasion during distance learning. We are so proud of you. Keep up the good work, finish strong, and we'll see you next week, Lancers.